Alright, race fam, here we are at LAPT Lion Cross. I am excited to see so many people out here parked and ready to race. It's tons of folks. You see that? That's raining. I'm under the gun. I'm underprepared. Per usual. How was that?
Why are you clean?
I haven't started yet. Alright, race fam, I might have been over ambitious, but I signed up for Master and I'm doing the 3/4s. Now, I even signed up for the single speed. I'm gonna try that for the first time because my new bike is E-tap, so it's super easy to just rip the batteries off and then you're single speeding. So yeah, I brought both bikes, pit bike, race bike. Brand new bike's gonna get a big workout today. All right, all set. Good day for follow hollow socks because I didn't really plan this out very well with a second set of clothes or any of that stuff. So I'm gonna do my pre-ride, get soaked, and then sit in the car for an hour till I race. And then I'm supposed to race for like 2.5 hours straight. So let's see how that goes. All right, let's check her out. Oh yeah, I think I will. I don't think the heavy stuff's coming for a while though. Oh my. Oh my. Well, that's certainly something. Oh friends. Oh friends, it is wet. It is wet, friends. Well, good day to be back on Tubulars. Oh Lord. Oh, race fan, this is proper messy. Oh, my butt! My butt is wet! Ah! Ah! Race fam, I think it's mostly running today. And I guess I'm thankful. This new bike has a lot more clearance for mud. Tons more actually. So that's awesome. Oh boy, I don't know if this is fun or, I don't know. Oh, I just had an idea. I'll borrow a kid's bike and then I'll just run with the kid's bike the whole time. Everybody else seems to be handling this fairly well. I don't. Hey, appreciate it, brother. Thank you for saying that. That means a lot. Everybody else seems to be handling this pretty well. I'm a little cranky about it. Everybody else is like smiling and happy. I'm like, argh. Oh my God, I need so many more gears. I can hear the newness wearing off of these gears. All right, just a shade under an hour per lap. Look at that, that's awesome.
You say the same exact thing about this kind of weather with cyclocross.
Right?
I feel crazy to do cyclocross.
That's funny you say it. When I was coming down, I was like, well, at least it's not a crit. It's kind of, you know, it's just fun, and you're gonna crash 100%, and you're gonna get dirty and nasty and sloppy and slide out and all those things. But you know, probably not gonna get hurt. So there's that.
Probably.
All right, race fam, let's get going. This is the whole shot in the Masters 1, 2, 3 category, and the pro racers left like 1 minute ahead of us. So, you know, I'm happy with this whole shot. I was on the last row. I have no points. I have no call up. I'm totally out of it, and I registered the day of, so I did not even pre-reg. And they posted a social media thing in the morning, and I was like, man, if I would have seen that, I would not have come. The wind was whipping through this course. It's about 2 hours from my house, but yeah, you know, I got a new bike and I'm excited to try it, so it got me out of the house. All right, so the field is like, I don't know, 20 something whatever, and 25 30 people, something like that. So the course, as you can tell from the pre-ride and my commentary, is absolutely a disaster. It is just soaked. Super fun to race, and I gotta say, like, this new setup already off to a great start. I'm back on Tubulars. I feel really good about that. And I have a little conversation about Tubulars like this. The width of a tubular is 33. It says 33, it's 33. And the tubeless, like some of these guys I was in the starting line with, I was like, man, these tubeless tires are so wide because their rim beds are so wide. But I feel like I was hooking up great, so I'm not concerned about that, and I feel like I have less rolling resistance maybe for the rest of the course, and especially on a day like this, being able to run such low pressures was huge. So my traction was not as bad as you might think. And the other thing with it being so wet is you could just plow through stuff with no real concern, because the ruts didn't like grab your tire or anything, and the mud thankfully did not stick. There was a race a couple years ago in Milwaukee that the mud all stuck, and that was probably the worst day I've ever had on a bike. It was absolutely terrible. So anyway, so here we are, whole shot. I have no idea where I'm at. I'm just, you reach a certain point and you're just like, I just want to go out and have fun and race my bike and see what happens. So I don't know where I'm sitting. There's Chad Hartley, who wins a lot of these races, and he's back with me. He's got a huge monster whole shot sprint. So my guess is he probably went out 1600 watts in that sprint, and then he's recovering. And so I'm like super excited to see him anywhere near me. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll be okay. And then sure enough, later on he gets his act together and takes off, and I don't ever see him again. So, bye, Chad. See ya. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I just did a fitness test today. This is a week later. I'm doing the commentary. I did an FTP test, and I'm sitting right at 4 watts per kilo on the dot, so that's positive. There's a couple things I know I need to get done. I need to get some longer slow rides in. I've not been doing very many of those, and that's going to bite me if I don't get some of those done. So hopefully this week I'll pile in some of those, and we have a race, recording this on Friday night, and then I'm racing again tomorrow. One of my favorite races in cyclocross, one of my favorite races in cycling all in general. So I'm excited to go out there and try that tomorrow, and hopefully it won't be quite this nasty. So the new bike is a Santa Cruz Stigmata. My old bike was a Santa Cruz Stigmata, and they warranted the frame because it had little flakes of metal that turned to rust over time as the clear coat has eroded. So I get these little like freckles all over the bike, and they were very generous in the warranty process, and they did ask me to destroy the frame, and I am kindly not going to do that. I have an anti-bike or anti-violence policy toward bikes, so I'm not going to do that. But I've decided I'm never going to sell it. I'll just keep it forever, and that way nobody gets hurt. Santa Cruz won't lose any business, and I keep my karma. So that's good. But again, their warranty process was great, and the new bike has... They definitely, I should look this up, but I'm sure they changed something in the geometry, because it just feels like it hooks up so much better. It feels so much better in the twisty turny stuff. I went and rode a little bit today, and was just like, man, this thing feels good. I got new shoes. Man, I'm getting after it for cross. I'm excited. All right, so I ended up... well, a couple things. I learned a lot of things at this race. So I'm going to bring a second set of shoes for warm-up. I'm going to bring clothes for warm-up. I'm going to bring like a shell to wear for warm-up. And then I'm going to bring a second something for additional races. So in this race day, I signed up for 3 races, and I only ended up doing like 1.5 of them. The other problem is the races are back-to-back-to-back, so you don't really have time to wash anything up or change or really anything. And I have this little Ryobi spray gun thing, but it was totally malfunctioning like a pile of garbage, so that was really frustrating, because I did have time to go back to the car and wipe off the brakes and the gears and stuff, but that thing didn't work, so I was out of luck. So I got to work on that a little bit tonight and see if I can get that figured out for tomorrow. I did have a pit bike. My old bike was in there, and but the tires are totally shot, so I bought new tires. I'm going to put those on. I don't know if I'll get to it tonight, to be honest with you, but it's nice to have a pit bike. I'm very excited about that for this season. So they do this pinwheel. I gotta say, if you're watching this and you are a race promoter and you feel like, oh, let's put a pinwheel in our cross race, just don't. Just don't. They're not fun. They're not cool. They're not unique. Like, they're just done. Let's just move on from the pinwheel. We don't need that in our lives. All right, so this little climb here was brutal. You could not clean this pedaling. You had to definitely get off and jump this section or walk this section. Another thing I put in at the last minute before I went down the night before, I put in my cleats, and thank God I did. There was definitely 3 or 4 people that I was riding next to or running up this hill with, and they did not have cleats, you could tell, and they were having a very difficult time. But the cleats were critical for me to be able to get up this hill in a reasonable amount of time. And you'll see later on, I have a little clip that somebody else, Tara, took of me climbing up that hill, and I passed 2 people easily because I have cleats and they do not. So if you don't have cleats, spikes, you know, the 2 spikes up front. Spikes, gotta have spikes. So those are good. And again, the bike performed really well. I mean, for being a brand new bike, I had it less than 24 hours and I'm off racing it. the bike shop, Cranked Bike Studio, and Nina did a great job putting it together. The fit was like spot on. There's the bar slip just a hair in one of these when I go crashing down these hills and into a ditch. It made a really bad sound, but it was just a slip, no big deal. So tighten that back up and we're good to go. There's a little pit there, and my pit bike is in that pit, but I never messed with it. So it's cool to have a pit bike, but if no one's there to clean it in a day like this, like, it doesn't really do any good for that sense, but that's okay. All right, so the course itself, like, I really like the course. There's ups, downs, there's power sections. Like, I think they have it really dialed in for a good variety of technical. Again, we could get rid of the pinwheel, but a good variety of technical. And then we're about to hit this sand section, and I was just intimidated. But pre-road, I did not do the sand. I skipped it because I didn't want to mess with it, and I wish I would have, because it is definitely rideable. But I didn't figure that out, I think, till the third lap. I finally tried it. I was like, oh, that's not bad at all. It seems a lot worse than it is. So if you're not familiar with doing sand, throw your weight to the back, hit it with speed, and pray that you make it through. That's about it. That's the whole secret to sand. So we're finishing up a lap, and I think I just ran the whole first lap, so you're going to catch that, and then I'm going to chop up the next few minutes here. So if you're on the trainer, if you're watching this, getting excited for cross, I'll have some chops coming up here that'll be just little elements of how the race went for the rest of the time. So once the first lap goes by in cross, it gets pretty lonely typically, and so my plan for this day was to do this race, and then I got in the Masters I'm sorry, not Masters, just the Open 3-4 category, and that was a huge race. I can't believe how many people signed up for this. It's awesome. It's good to see Cyclocross like back. Tons of people. So I thought I'll just do the 3-4s and see how it goes, and I just lost my motivation to do anymore. The rain got heavier and the wind definitely picked up, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm all out of my funometer. It totally died out, so I was ready to go home at that point. And then going home takes forever because you got mud everywhere. The car was a disaster. That's more things I learned. I'm going to bring extra towels. I'm going to bring paper towels. I'm going to bring more water. I'm going to bring food. I totally messed up my food, which is funny because I got to put another order in for the feed and get some new goos and stuff. I'm down to only caffeine goos left, and that's not good for me. Right, so we're just finishing up the first lap. Now we're going to chop up some different sections later in the race, and I'll walk you through that. Or I might just play music.
you doing there, Davis? You're breaking in that bike, I see. That guy go. He can do it all. I'd like to see him in a mountain bike race, though.
Okay, so now we're in the last lap. I'm just going to speed through. I'm heading to the end, and there's one person I'm trying to beat here at the end because we battled back and forth. You can see in those previous clips this rider in the green from Neff Cycle Service, and I'm closing in on him. I feel like maybe I could sprint at the end and try to catch him here, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a big sprint and see if I can catch him. So here we go, real-time sprint. I fast-forwarded that. That's pretty far ahead of me, but I'm going to give it a go. He doesn't know I'm closing, so maybe I can get a little element of surprise and catch him here, but it is not. It is? Maybe? Can I get him? It's those cones right there. No, I can't get him. All right, well, I ended up finishing 10th, and oddly, they didn't score me in 10th, but I have video evidence that I got 10th. So hopefully I get some points for that, and maybe I can move up from the last row. All right, anyway, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, do all those YouTube things. This is me literally wanting to die after the race. Thanks, Jeff Abbots. Thanks, Tara, for the extra clips. Really helps out.
All right. Talk to you later.